Alright folks, welcome back to Let's Play the Spacebar on the Mysterious JG. And Steve Steve Meretsky. I can't believe that I didn't bother to find out his name before continuing along with this. But he was kind of famous as being like the guy behind the game Planetfall, which was an Infocom text adventure, which I might LP if anybody out there is interested in it. I thought about doing an Infocom text adventure game, if only for one thing. I'd considered that, hey, um, probably wouldn't be too great, obviously not graphically intensive, which might mean small videos, but I don't think it's actually going to work that way. I think that in order to get good image captures of it where you can read the text that I'm reading to you, it'd probably end up being just as big a video as anything else, and the resolution isn't that high. It might be like the absolute worst possible idea, not just for the obvious reason that what you just seriously want to play a game that's nothing but text, and you expect us to sit here and watch a full-fledged LP of that. Beyond that, that might be additional problems. But it's something I thought about trying anyway. But yeah, Steve Meretsky, whatever his name actually is, but he did Planetfall. He actually before that he was like, you know, basically, I'm going to say was the computer game guy who made the Infocom, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game happen. Because while Douglas Adams famously, and I say famously, actually, it's something he talked about in his autobiography, which I read many years ago. But I don't know if it's particularly well known to tons of people. But he actually enjoyed working on that game more than he enjoyed writing the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy novels or radio series or anything, TV series, anything else. He enjoyed working on that game because he really likes computers and he liked technology. He was kind of a futurist, actually was Douglas Adams. Famous atheist and futurist, as it happens. But Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is an incredibly problematic game because while there's really funny stuff in the game, it's actually like completely freaking impossible to win fair and square. Without the hint book, it's just not winnable. And this game, I would venture to say, is pretty much the same. It's also ludicrously difficult to figure out what you're supposed to do with some of this stuff because, like, the game is full of fun and interesting side details that don't figure into the game at all. And then the stuff that you actually do have to find and interact with is sometimes tiny and easy to miss. As we'll find out when we get into the main story part, because I found that pretty much, within reason, maybe one or two places where I was just like, I don't have the patience, I'm going to use the hint or whatever. But you can figure out pretty much all of the flashbacks. The spacebar main quest is what I find to be really freaking impossible, and we'll get to that in a minute. But no, Steve Meretsky is famous for Planetfall, which came after Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it used footnotes. And I remember that one of the first footnote that you could get triggered footnote 2, and footnote 2 is, and no, I'm not ripping off Douglas Adams, because I worked on that game and I helped to create it, and you can't rip off yourself. Though I would beg to differ. I mean, clearly, John Fogerty once lost a lawsuit where he was accused of ripping off himself because his music that he wrote after CCR broke up was too close to the sound of CCR, which was owned by, whose music copyright was owned by some jackass. But that's a whole different story. Self-plagiarism. Yeah, Steve Meretsky also did Stationfall, which was the sequel to Planetfall, and it was not really as fondly remembered, although it was a pretty good game. I really liked that game. Both of them are famous for having a robot sidekick named Floyd, who, no spoilers in case they ever do Planetfall, but there's a generation of gamers who have really fond memories of Floyd being one of the first characters in a computer game, back before there really was much going on with video games, that people really sort of felt like had a personality, and they really, people developed a lot of fondness for Floyd and felt really, attached to that character. So, let's move on. Because this isn't Planetfall, this isn't Stationfall, this is the Spacebar. I saved the game right after finishing the final flashback, which is Devon Sevens. I did that one last because, of course, Devon Sevens is the last flashback you can do. If you do them all as quickly as you can, getting to them as soon as they become available, Devon Sevens flashback will be the last you can do. Now, off screen, I made a note of the frequency I already got from Fleabix, which is 60.4. So let's get that entered. think I did this wrong when I was off-screening, and that might have been what was preventing the endgame from triggering properly, is that I didn't have this thing set correctly. Oh, am I supposed to actually wear this thing?
I don't have a tie. I could wear it on my lapel, if I didn't mind looking like a complete dork.
Alias Node frustrates me because I really enjoy the character, and I actually really enjoyed the way his vocalized, the way they portray him. But he's very soft-spoken in a way that makes it really hard to pick up, and for LP purposes. So anyway, folks, let's look at our log. What have you missed? Residue print results. I did try to residue print some stuff, I think. Oh, never mind. Apparently I didn't. Clues. I got clues for all of the flashbacks. Oh, come on, game. Don't crash. Oh, game. You're being a bastard. Come on. Okay. Dave Maritsky and who he is, and now I can't just abandon this outright, but I have to really hope that we don't end up having sync problems later. Come on, the spacebar, go away for a moment, yes. And you can come back, bigger, better than ever. The spacebar. And we'll have to redo the Devon 7 tie tack bit. But now that I've got that last video recorded successfully, and I was actually able to test it and see that it worked, don't have to worry about saving those slots. That is now set correctly. I do like the Devon 7 character, but every extraneous movement is a chance for the game to crash, so let's not give it that many. Turn the sound down a little bit, and this is very uncomfortable, but I'm now holding the speaker close to my microphone because I'm recording after some people have gone to bed around here. Let's go to the Cowboy Saloon. This is what I tried to do in the last video, to show you the last little side, branch of just weird, goofy comedy stuff that doesn't relate to anything.
Psst. I'm over here, the plant. No, I'm not in the plant. I am the plant.
Ah, you're glowing with power. That's nice. Gus, examine.
I guess that plant is currently occupied by the disembodied intelligence who calls himself Gus. Well, it's a big galaxy. Anything is possible.
Ask about himself.
I'm a whisperee. We're disembodied intelligences. We live in a host for a few hours until it starts to rot, and then we move on. It's a great life if you like variety.
Ask about myself.
Would you like to be a host for a few hours? On second thought, never mind. I wasn't a human once. Ooh, most tedious 5 hours I ever spent. Everyone was constantly coming up to him and telling him he'd look just like Jerry Lewis. Can't help you there, pal. I hardly ever hang on a host long enough to learn much.
Enter Devon's body.
Ooh, I'd love to help you out, pal, but this host isn't particularly agile. Know what I mean? Ask me again when I'm in a real host. Ta-ta! Man, oh man, am I getting tired of being in the plant. Photosynthesis is for the birds.
So to speak. Yeah, photosynthesis for the birds, that would be a joke. We do not get to do a flashback with him. You've probably gleaned by now, since I've mentioned enough times that we're not doing any more flashbacks. However, it's always fun to chat.
Have you been inside anyone today who had memories of any recent criminal activity?
Oh, sure. This morning I had a blobster host with a criminal record as long as a Nurian sandeel. And around lunchtime, I was occupying a cockroach who had only recently stolen a crumb from another bug. Do I get around or what?
Yeah, I don't really get the joke here. He's just kind of annoying, but, whatever.
Don't you think this lifestyle of yours is somewhat gruesome?
Oh, what? Just because I occupy creatures until they rot and then I move along? Hey, how about you, huh? Shipping creatures off to a slaughterhouse, frying slabs of their bloody flesh, and shoving them into a body orifice one piece at a time? Ooh. Now that's what I call gruesome.
So, we plan on
vegetarian
being in this
game,
host
apparently.
for a while?
Soon as I catch my breath, I'm out of here. But where to next? Let's see. I'm in the mood for thinking. Oh, yeah, I know, patio furniture. Or maybe a nice little historical monument. Who knows? Hey, brother, life's a smorgasbord.
Yeah. Alright, so now it's time to learn about Earth history. The diving helmet. Can we wear it? No. Can we read it? Armored helmets, such as this one, were required gear for the well-equipped cowboy in order to fend off attacks from fierce enemies. Their fierce enemies, the Indians and the Nazis. Let us have a good war. Operation Weserübung, the invasion of Poland. Oh no, Norway. Excuse me. Invasion of Poland was Operation Fallbeis. Can you forgive me for that mistake, folks? I hope you can. Tiger. Or Tiger. Tiger! Western cowboys often demonstrated their prowess by subduing tigers, such as this one, bringing them down with loops of rope called lassies during popular shows known as a rodeo. No clues there, unless, of course, the heist at corporate headquarters was carried out using cheap wood paneling. I can't do anything with the bucket. There's cash register. Examine. This is a primitive money storage device. Open. The empty door opens, saving you from having to make any difficult moral decisions about theft within an adventure game environment. Yeah, I'm a veteran adventure gamer. I know that we can steal whatever we can find. Paintings. Examine. Paintings of naked people at sufficiently low resolution so as not to endanger this game's rating. Potbelly stove. Apparently a reproduction of some sort of primitive heating device. There's nothing inside except a painting of some burning logs. It's not a very good reproduction, is it? The balcony. It's a real Old West saloon. Those doorways off the balcony... In a real Old West saloon, those doorways off the balcony were these rooms used by a practitioner of the galaxy's oldest profession. This saloon, however, does not enjoy quite that level of realism. Balconies for appearances only and lacks sufficient structural support. More cowboy stuff. There's a standee. Examine.
That's a cowboy, huh? It's downright embarrassing how little I know about my own planet's history.
Outlaws like this one were the bane of the Earth's West, stealing cattle, robbing banks, and selling drugs. Western sheriffs would often have to round up a possum of citizens to go after these outlaws. Among the most famous outlaws of the period were Jesse James, Al Capone, and Richard Nixon.
This cardboard cutout hides me pretty well.
You're not going to learn much from hiding in a deserted room, boss.
Good point. Oh, that feels better. I'm starting to get a leg cramp from standing so still.
You actually can hide behind a couple of objects in the game to eavesdrop, but as far as I know, it never leads to anything important. You look pretty silly carrying that around with you. That is true. That is very true. Player piano. Let's examine it.
Now here's something you don't see every day. A genuine, authentic reproduction of a facsimile of a player piano.
Pianos like this one could be found in every Western bar, interchangeably called a saloon or a spittoon, and cowboys and their girls would gather around the piano to drink a beverage called whiskers, while performing intricate ritual dances such as the polka and lambada. Play. And that accomplishes, I hope you guys realize, nothing. And the mirror. Examine the mirror. Mirror, no doubt an anachronism. They probably didn't have mirrors during the time of the Old West. Past 1700 Shadow. If you'd known that you were going to be starring in a best-selling adventure game today, you'd have shaved closer. Boing, sorry, safety glass. They probably didn't even have those, the Old West. always some jerk who thinks he knows everything about these things.
So that's what a tiger looks like, huh? Sometimes I think I ought to learn more about my Earth heritage. I'm starting to get the feeling the folks who threw this theme bar together did about 15 minutes of research.
Okay, so that was basically a big waste of time, but it was fun, right? Now, here's the place that we could not get into before, the very beginning of the game. Now it's desperately important to come here. See why in a moment. One thing that we've got to get out of here that I never noticed by myself. You have to... Ooh, you see how there's a magnifying glass there on the water? Yeah, somehow I just missed this. It's an underwater light.
I've always thought that underwater lighting was a great idea, provided you live underwater.
We've got to get it. It's important. This is also important. What is that? I did not know about this thing, actually. What is it? Let's see.
I hope they didn't actually pay the interior decorator who did this room.
Ubleek is a rarity, a world that has spawned two sentient races. The Acromati and the Trisex have learned to live and work together in peace and harmony, shining inspiration to the other races of our diverse galaxy. Yeah, well, we know better, don't we, folks? The poster might be sappy as all hell, but at least it covers a big patch of peeling paint. You'd gag yourself if you had to carry it around. This video screen really makes this room feel like it's on Oblique. A screen like this was probably quite a sight when it was first installed 56 years ago. Now there's common as rats in a sewer. So yes, this place is a theme bar that's meant to look like one of the boats that we traveled on in that flashback. Huzzah! And then there's this.
An imitation kelp trap. Sure makes me feel like I'm really on Ubleek. Not.
Ooh, burn.
Hello. What have we here? A corpse? Either this is a common occurrence around this place, or I'm starting to pick up the trail. A marmalade. Looks like he's been dead a few hours. Uh-oh, the body's got a little light sensor and a radio transponder pinned to it. That means the murderer knows that the body has been found. A bit of a moose. But first, let me get a look at this stiff's face. Say, this is the band leader. But I just saw him on the stage a few minutes ago. What gives?
Well, I guess we can take him off the list of suspects, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Gotta search him.
Pockets are empty. Not packing any heat. Aha. Here's the murder weapon. A micro dart. Zelda, stash this away from me.
I believe we will get killed if we stay in here. I haven't actually gotten killed that way. It's tempting to find out how that works. Save the game real quick. On a slot we don't care about anymore. And then listen to the message.
The results of your residue printing are being downloaded to your PDA.
Oh, so I did try to residue print something. This data cartridge. Alias node plus residue too old to analyze. Yeah, so we can't just find out who had it, which would have been nice. And it's Cerebomb. Data too old to analyze. Because I had the sense to residue print the Cerebomb before I picked it up, but it still doesn't go anywhere. So let's residue print this dart.
What the...
Alias? I know it's been a long time, but surely recall that the wand won't work unless it's been opened.
Oops.
Hey, I lost the carrier signal from the voice printer. There seems to be something jamming the signal.
Has lost contact. Please stand by for further updates.
Open this thing, and then we'll try residue printing again.
Dingle 2.
Zelda, did you get anything?
Something around here is jamming every infrared channel.
Oh, never mind. Well, we're gonna get killed anyway, because I've decided I want to see what happens when you hang out. Except that I just crashed the game again, didn't I? Ugh. Just crashed the game. Well, I also just saved the game, so this shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm just running the risk of having more incredible sync sound issues, which would be sad if it happens, but and yes, folks, as you can see, I have the spacebar walkthrough open at this point because screw it. I just want to show you the end of the game now. Got to this portion where we're going through the actual main story, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to pretend that I know what I'm doing. I've done that with other games. I mean, I've established that I was able to beat games like Zack McCracken, Fair and Square. This game's like, no, I played this years ago, that it's just not something that I can figure out on my own. But I think there's enough that's fun in the game that it's still worth showing to you. So let's restore slot 1, and hope that the game don't crash.
Alias? Hi, it's Max again. Listen, if you can hear me, you gotta get me soon. I'm blindfolded, but that bastard said he's released the Yobleakian and swamp spider into the room. You know, the venom from one of those things can melt your brain in 5 minutes. I don't want my brain to melt, Alias. I need it for police work. I'm sorry. Look, I know I'm not taking this too well, Alias, but I keep thinking about Lolicia and the kids. What are they gonna do without me?
I think we've seen this, didn't we?
Alias!
I still can't believe you threw yourself in front of that speeding car to save me.
Hey, pal. All in the line of duty. I just worry about Lolicia, you know. I can't afford much insurance.
I think we've seen
If
this,
something
but I'm
happens
not
to
sure.
me,
And it's just,
they'll be out on the street.
I just love the concept of how
I know you'd never let that
they really
happen,
beat
Alias.
to death how much you
I know
owe
you'd
this
take
guy.
care of him after all we've been through.
Yeah, so don't let my family die, you jerk. Alright. Well, we agreed that we were going to die here because we were warned to get out quickly, and I never saw what happens if you hang out, but I'm sure that it's something bad, so let's hang out.
Hey, I lost the carrier signal from the voice printer. There seems to be something jamming the signal.
I thought we already knew this. Dingle 2. Are you gonna come kill me, shapeshifter guy, or not? I'm gonna feel pretty silly if you don't come in here and murder me. I'm asking you to kill me. Hurry up and kill me. I'm gonna hang around here with the body I just discovered. Maintaining your cover ought to take precedence over collecting this particular piece of evidence. Must be somebody's idea of what the boats on Ubleak are like. You won't be going far, not with about 10 inches of water on every side of the boat, but hey, bon voyage! Game just makes fun of you at every turn. You're giving us a ridiculous amount of turns to get out of here at this point. I'm not even sure that he comes in here to kill you. Alright, forget it. That was a silly waste of time. Let's get back to the game proper. I just don't want to waste all those turns in case they matter.
Alias? Hi.
Hi, buddy. We already did this, so sorry. So what do I need to do at this point? Think, JG. Think. You've read through that walkthrough, more or less, the whole thing. Sorry about that, folks, but hey, it is what it is. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I think we already, just to confirm, I'm pretty sure we already got what we needed at Fleabix.
Look, I told you what you wanted to know,
Yeah.
so leave me alone. I keep having flashbacks of the nutty professor. Hey, lady, that's Graham.
So,
Hey, I lost the carrier signal.
yeah,
from the
we know,
voice printer.
we know. Thank you, Zelda.
Incoming flight from Dingle 2 has lost contact. Please stand by.
But of course he is. He's dead. But he was there a few minutes ago, and he's clearly been dead longer than that. Zelda, what do you make of this?
Perhaps his twins.
You guys know there's a shapeshifter. Come on. Alright. Well, I'll tell you folks, this is the deal. I don't think I would have figured this out anyway. But the deal with how to survive the poison... Oh, well, she's taking his order. But I don't think she's going to say anything different to us from before, so forget about it. The secret to surviving the poison is you've got to go talk to a chemist. And if you remember correctly from reading about the different races, and just the fact that he's, makes drugs. Like, I don't know if I've never watched it, but apparently the hottest show in the world right now is Breaking Bad. This guy right here is your chemist. This guy knows his shit. Let's ask him about the poison dart.
Looks like a dart. Get out of my face before I take yours as a souvenir.
We need to chat with him and tell him about the Cerebomb.
So, are you ready to do some business? I've got quality.
I'll have to get back to you later.
Yeah,
Oh.
you do that.
Okay, never mind. I just remembered.
Definitely not the kind of guy you'd want to push too far.
Yeah, that's great. I just remembered, folks. I didn't actually steal the Cerebomb. I just opened his locker. Because I was thinking maybe you shouldn't try to steal it. You should do something else. But I think you actually do need to steal it before you trigger the conversation in which you tell him, hey man, I got your drugs. Because that conversation will cause him to need to deal with you. Oh, fucking game. Ugh. Hold on, folks. Anything and everything can cause this game to crash. And part of it is running Cam Studio at the same time. The game crashes periodically when I ran it previously, when I was off-screening my way back through it, but nowhere near as often as it crashed when I was actually recording. Oh, man, we've gotten, nowhere past this one save. But, this video is still useful. I mean, you see the cowboy bar, which I find pretty funny. Alias, what's your deal, man? When you gonna help me out there? Come on, Negro. I'm your boy. You got to help me. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. And there's what's her name getting off the balcony, and yeah, we know. Maybe she'll have something to say to us now.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I'm keeping my eye out for anything suspicious. Don't worry. You've made a friend for life.
You got a friend to me. Yeah, she does eventually provide us with some assistance, but I don't really know.
Hey, I lost the carrier
Yes,
signal from the...
thank you, Zelda. I don't really know what it is that triggers that, but it happens on its own after a certain amount of time, I think. Okay, that time the game did not completely blow up. Excellent. Let's go talk to our friend, Snap, Crackle, Pop Man. I really hope that the sound sync hasn't fallen apart in this video, but that does tend to happen when I have all these crashes, so I'm just kind of assuming that it's all going to go to shit, but I'll still play for half an hour before I give up, just in case it all works out beautifully.
I don't think you've got a stash. I think I've got it.
If you got it, show it to me.
If you've got it, crash the game. And the game crashed. Alright, folks, that's really does have to be it. It's getting ridiculous. When we come back, I guess I'll just get to this point and start recording a new video. So, I hope you enjoyed the cowboy bar stuff. I found it pretty amusing. Doesn't really make up for 4 crashes in one video, or however many it actually was, but hey, it's something. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. When we come back, we're going to get him to be forced to help us when we tell him we've got a Cerebomb. And as I already explained, he's going to be the only one who can figure out how to do the poison, or deal with the poison, because, he's like Mr. Chemistry Man. And as I found out when playing it before, the reason I didn't have enough turns to survive the poison dart is because you can't just go up to him and get him to help you figure out an antidote to the poison until you have the poison dart. Because you don't know the poison dart's coming, even though we read about it. Read about it with the shapeshifters and how they kill people that way. Alias doesn't get clued into the fact that the poison dart is on its way to him until he finds someone who's already been killed by one. And when you show the poison dart to him and ask him about it, he tells you how to survive. This is all stuff that will happen in the next video. Thanks for watching, folks. When we come back, more of the exciting main story of the Spacebar. This is Mysterious JG, signing off.